invasion this morning. This is the third wave, in fact. The Marines and 1st Platoon of the Paras have already gone in.
It's such a little island and they aren't doing anything wrong.
Local populace is very, very friendly, and we're already arranging cricket and football fixtures.
So the men of the Metropolitan Police are now sweating along the dirt roads and over the hills of Anguilla.
Beating up the Anguillians, and I'm going to do it with me.
Just after 6 o'clock, and the Seamen's platoon from HMS Minerva is going into Road Bay. This is the third wave, in fact. The Marines and 1st Platoon of the Paras have already gone in. The seamen are going in now to relieve the Paras so they can move forward up towards the crossroads. 0, reference your last. Stay where you are for the time being. Over. I'll repeat, you are to stay in your present position. Over. How did you think there'd be any firing?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, I...
Invasion this morning.
Well, I feel very bad.
Why?
Because this is such a little island and they aren't doing anything wrong. And such big troops will come here to invade for nothing.
Why do you think they've come here?
To invade?
Why should they want to invade?
I don't know.
And you don't like it?
No.
What are you going to be able to do about it?
Well, I can't do nothing.
Miss Rella say something.
Mahogany tree crossroads right in the middle of the island, and the Marines from the start and the paratroopers have made a point of taking this intersection because really this controls the traffic across the length and breadth of the island. Here they've set up roadblocks and there's been a certain amount of barracking, British go home and so forth, but now the traffic is moving again and the crowd is, well, not particularly hostile.
What is this?
Okay, Wally.
Shameful. God bless them, amen. God don't turn her back on us, they help us.
You're on telly, Smile.
What?
You're on television.
I don't
Drops of vehicles, Land Rovers and trailers from the Hercules, the first of the Andovers pushed down, and the people of Anguilla pour onto what is supposedly a secure airstrip. Now that Mr. Lee's going to be commissioner here for...
No! 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 No!
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
No.
Because we want a leader from among our people.
You want to be completely independent?
We want a man from among our people to lead us. And Lee can advise us. But we will not advise Lee.
No.
Local populace is very, very friendly, and we're already arranging cricket and football fixtures, which is the way we want to play it as soon as we can.
We've noticed a certain amount of hostile shouting, because it's never been more than that.
Absolutely no, that I have seen. I've flown over the island, a quick reconnaissance by chopper, certainly down the bottom end, and waves everywhere, people waving from the ground. A couple of...
I've been asked by the authorities of the military force to hush talk, so I guess I'll have to.
Now, the charge was made that the island was being run by gangsters, probably from the United States. Have any people at all been arrested on it? charges of gangsterism or anything resembling that charge?
All people who've been brought in have been brought in by the troops and are now being questioned.
Will they be released when the questioning is over?
That depends on the result of the question.
Could we have your name, sir?
Way, W-A-Y. Hello, we're off. London Metropolitan Police.
Say, what's your title?
What's
I'm
your
an
first
assistant
name?
commissioner.
And your initials?
A.G.P.
Mr. Lee, the whole purpose of this military exercise, Marine, speaks of you or your successor or the Queen's Commissioner at least being here for a number of years until there's a satisfactory settlement.
That's right.
How long would you think?
This must take years. It won't be months, and I think it should take. I don't say how many years, but I think this period of stability is essential in order that something permanent and lasting can emerge.
Is it envisaged that permanent settlement could be the breakup of St Kitts Nevis Anguilla?
I think that one must accept that as one of the possibilities, yes. I mean, this is the most likely possibility, in fact the only possibility. If you asked an Anguillan, he would say this is the only possible thing that can happen.
Now. Well, I'm going to act quiet just as I am for the time being. And I'm going to appeal to the world to take up Anguilla's case. Because one cannot intervene into a private place like as I've done.
Well, have they attempted to take away what authority you have? What
Yes,
did they say to you?
They said they do not recognize our constitution, and they're going to establish a government here. And this is something to which we will have to decide by referendum.
What do you mean?
The British are once again in charge of Anguilla, and peacefully too. But it's still Mr Webster and not Mr Lee that the Anguillans follow. It's Mr Lee's hard task to change that. Richard Lindley, News at 10, Anguilla. Where the population has had time to grow accustomed to the pink, newly sunburned faces of the invaders, confrontation has already become fraternization.
Take it back. Give
Give it a face, Right, thanks for all that now. No. Back.
Only 24 hours after a shouting crowd had thrown insults at the men guarding their schoolhouse headquarters, the locals were chatting amicably with London bobbies over the garden wall.
We'll take you. One hour too fast and have them for a long time. Give it to you.
You like spearfishing? Never been spearfishing? You never did yet?
You've got to have a contact. The fourth time there. Where are you like? Some people don't know this. And that's why they act like for it. That's right, you want some money from me, don't you?
No, it cannot.
The military commander is insistent that as his men spread out to cover the island, working up towards the bad end at the east, an unarmed policeman should accompany them. So the men of the Metropolitan Police, some of whom were last in the public eye, guarding the Krays on their way to court, are now sweating along the dirt roads and over the hills of Anguilla. They've plenty of ground to cover. From HMS Minerva's helicopter, we could see people waving from most points of the island, but the military's maps still have a number of suspect houses marked on them, which have not yet been investigated. Naturally, the police want to keep the temperature down so that life, in the current phrase, can continue normally. I talked to the senior policeman on the island, Assistant Commissioner Andrew Way. Mr. Way, what exactly are the police doing now?
We're settling in our accommodation. They only arrived yesterday, and we've already started this morning putting out some men as joint patrols with the soldiers.
Are they armed, your men?
No.
Are they going to be at all?
At night, if necessary, they probably will be.
What trouble have you met so far? Have you met evidence of gangsterism here?
None whatever.
Do you expect to?
Difficult question. I don't think so. There seems to be no indication of that at the moment. But the island's full of rumours, and we must wait and see.
One detainee, Mr. Holcomb, has been expelled, I gather, on your advice. Now, why was that?
His activities were thoroughly undesirable if the island was to settle down.
What have your men been able to tell you about the atmosphere on the island among the people?
Well, my men have been perfectly happy. They've been talking to local inhabitants here who all seem to smile, and they've been in the shops and bought odds and ends. All very friendly so far.
But policemen cannot solve the political situation, a situation that a further meeting between Mr. Lee and Mr. Webster failed to resolve.
Mr. Webster, Mr. Lees this morning turned down your proposal for a referendum. What do you want Britain to do now?
I want her to send in to us a minister from the cabinet.
Who would you accept?
We won't accept Mr. Whitlock again, because he came in, he violated the protocol to which he has had.
But you can't really expect Britain to do this, can you?
Well, I expect she should, because if she claims here to be a British, one of her territories, well, I think that she should obey the subjects who are on it.
Well, what's going to happen if Britain won't agree to your demands?
I'll appeal again to the United Nations and other nations to take up our cause.
You told Mr. Lee you still regard yourself as president-elect of this island. If you persist in this, isn't he going to detain you?
It doesn't matter. I'm prepared to go to jail. I'm prepared to die for Anguilla, if need be.
Increasingly conscious of the presence of the press and the sympathy American journalists in particular are showing for his case, Mr. Webster has decided to add demonstrations to his propaganda techniques.
Get out to build a new Anguilla. Get out to build a new Anguilla. Get out to build a new Anguilla and stand the fire, yeah.
However noisy and impassioned, they're not in themselves likely to worry police steeled in Grosvenor Square. But if they continue, their effect on world opinion may well be a matter of concern in Whitehall. Richard Lindley, News at 10, Anguilla.
That has nothing to do with me. You must ask Prime Minister what he thinks about that. I'm not committing myself on that. I say too many things which are dangerous anyhow. It's a political operation. Nothing to do with me.
Thank you very much.
Beating up the Anguillans. Nothing to do with me.
They did. This is also information. There's a man by the name of Haskins who was given a concession to build a small plastics factory. He ran out of Puerto Rico when the wages got too high for him. He came into Anguilla, he was given a concession, given pioneer status. Our information was he was manufacturing explosives, ammunition, and we understand some weapons.
What evidence have you for this?
We have the evidence of people from Anguilla, whose identities, of course, I cannot disclose.
What sort of weapons are they manufacturing exactly? What sort of guns and explosives?
I think they were manufacturing ammunition for small arms and rifles, and I'm not sure they were not doing some rifles themselves. They were also reactivating or attempting to reactivate some old cannon.
If the Anguillans decide that they would like to sever their links with St. Kitts, would you be prepared to agree to this?
This is a question I'd like to examine in its context. When we come to it, I think the primary thing is to restore law and order in Anguilla, to remove the arms from the people who are threatening other Anguillians, to bring peace to the area, to bring development to the area which has been kept out of it for many years and for which we are being blamed by some people who are misguided. When you do this, you must allow the Anguillians to evolve a sense of freedom of thought, not the kind of threat under which they have been suffering. And then they think for themselves they can act within the Constitution.
We'll try to get a photo.
Morning.
Any lobsters?
Well, I don't know if they have any lobsters. They have other fish.
Other fish?
Yes, sir.
No lobster?
Yes, sir.
Oh, pity.
Hello there.
Morning. Good morning.
Hello, lads. you go. Right. For the first time.
Come back, P.C. Smith, at the bottom. Hey! Who's that whistle?
How have you found people on Anguilla, actually, since you arrived?
Well, they're very, very friendly indeed. Everywhere we go, they wave and we talk to them, and they're very, very friendly.
As you expected, or more so?
Well, we didn't really know what to expect. Nobody told us what the attitude was, but we found it very, very friendly.
What do they think about Britain? How do they feel about you being here?
No, they've treated us well. We've got on like a house on fire with them.
I think they resent the show of force a little, especially the armament.
Show of arms, yeah.
And the cars tearing about everywhere. I think they respect us a bit more, because we carry no arms or even truncheons.
I'll tell you what we would like when you come back next time, some Union Jacks. They keep asking us for Union Jacks to wave.
Despite the appeals made by Mr. Webster's supporters for a massive turnout to greet him, it was the familiar hard core of demonstrators that was at the airport when his plane finally arrived. But though their numbers were small, around 250, their enthusiasm was unbounded. Ronald, as the islanders call him, was carried shoulder high from the tarmac to the little terminal building to be effusively embraced by his cousin John.
It's a pleasure to be back here with you again today.
Tactfully in attendance, a couple of British policemen.
A week ago.
Immigration formalities over, Mr. Webster mounted a stepladder and spoke to the crowd. As he said, he was tired after a non-stop round of talks in Washington and New York, but he seemed to have a new assurance, born perhaps of the respect Lord Caradon had shown in having two serious discussions with him.
I've always said that if Anguilla goes down, I'm prepared to go down with her.
I asked him what it was about his talks with Lord Caradon that made him hopeful about the future.
Well, as far as I've gathered, I understood from many sources that he has a high standard, a high moral standard, to which I have confidence that he will do his very best to assist Anguilla.
Lord Caradon is coming here on a fact-finding mission. What is it exactly that you'll be pressing for?
Well, I'll be pressing for recognition to our independence, particularly from St. Kitts Nevis.
Mr. Webster is obviously prepared to talk and negotiate with anyone provided Anguilla gets its freedom. But his supporters' utter rejection of the Queen's Commissioner, Mr. Lee, may make it impossible for him to be as reasonable as he himself would be prepared to be.
That was the first weapon you found, was it? One that came in. This is a First War Enfield. That one over there was used in the last war. It's a short Enfield.
It looks quite new.
Yes, that one is in good. They're all in good working order.
You've just taken the bolts out for safety?
Just taken the bolts out for safety, yes.
How about the others?
This is an American Remington. This is practically a brand new weapon.
How does that work?
The armour. This, you load it from here, and you press in, pull the slider stock down.
It's a sort of automatic shotgun, in fact.
Well, it's a scatter gun, I think they call it over there. This one is a twin-barrel shotgun. It's a pretty ancient one, I should think, by the markings on it.
But again, working order?
They're all in working order, yes, every one of them.
Well, I will say this. There have been arms on the island. I'm not going to deny that. They were not to be used against British troops. They were to be used to keep Bradshaw and his guerrillas out of here. He's been a very oppressive person. He lives and thrives on hate along with his whole council.
Have you actually stored weapons here?
I'm not in a position to say whether I store weapons or not. This question and these questions must be asked of Ronald Webster, who is the top man as far as this little island is concerned. Ronald has had a defense force here, a small group of fast young men. My two boys had the honor of working with Ronald Webster. They have had to swear on a stack of Bibles they would support this little government, and that group is the group that Mr. Whitlock possibly saw. He might have seen my sons there and seen foreign faces. Or again, he may have seen some East Enders, which are just as British looking perhaps as I am.
Why did your sons in fact go about the island armed?
People went around the island armed for one reason: to protect the beaches. We lived on the beaches here. We lived on the beaches for a year, watching and hoping that Bradshaw would not come. Propaganda was put out to keep him away, and thank God he has kept away.
For the first time since the invasion, Anguillans who want the British here dared to show themselves. It took considerable nerve, even bravery, for the little group of 50 or so to bring out their Union Jacks and stand up for Mr. Lee. Scuffles soon erupted, despite police efforts to keep Mr. Webster's supporters away. Typically, for this part of the world, the women did most of the fighting and got most of the bruises. Their pro-British placards infuriated the opposition. But this time, the Loyalists refused to bow to the intimidation that has silenced them in the past. Mr. Webster made his traditional entrance on the crowd's shoulders, but urged the people to give Lord Caradon a peaceful welcome. On its arrival, the minister's plane was surrounded by hundreds of excited islanders. Unable to do more in the crush than shake hands with a few notables, including Mr. Webster, Lord Caradon shoved his way to the steps of the terminal building to say a few encouraging words about his mission.
And I believe that we're going to come out of this with a greater hope for your island than ever before.
Right.
And it's going to be done not by bad feeling, but by good feeling.
Right.
And it's going to be done not by disagreement, but by agreement.
Right.
And I've come to sit down and listen, and you're going to listen to me, and we're going to work until we finish.
Right.
And we'll get it straight.
Right.
And I tell you, by Monday morning, I think we'll have this thing straight.
The little crowd of pro-British Anguillans followed Lord Caradon to Mr. Lee's house. Glad of some signs of support for the Commissioner, Lord Caradon came out to shake them warmly by the hand.